Hello, my name is Jeffrey Kirk. I am the author of 10 Million to 1 Refugee Resettlement, a how-to guide. I wrote this book for volunteers who want to be a part of refugee resettlement. This is a life-changing service to humanity. Let's start by considering the definition of what a refugee is. According to the United Nations, a refugee is a person who, owing to a well-founded fear of being persecuted for reasons of race, religion, nationality, membership of a particular social group, or political opinion, is outside the country of his nationality and is unable, or owing to such fear is unwilling, to avail himself of the protection of that country. To summarize that definition, a refugee is someone who cannot go home or is afraid to go home. For refugees, their home is taken away, suddenly, and often by force. Since they must travel quickly and light, they leave the bulk of their possessions behind. They flee to a neighboring country where they may face inhospitable conditions, overcrowded refugee camps, few services, and little welcome. In a short time, they lose their previous lives, their possessions, their friends, and even their families, and their future is in jeopardy. The average stay in a refugee camp has been climbing, and it's now at about 17 years. What a waste for humanity to lose 17 years of productivity from each of more than 10 million refugees in the world. Refugee resettlement is a process that removes refugees from the country they are in and helps them start a new life somewhere that will accept them. Therefore, refugee resettlement helps make the world a better place. One team helps one family at a time start a new life. Our goal is to acclimate newly arriving refugees and help them become successful, contributing members of society within 6 months. There are many aspects to refugee resettlement, from meeting the family at the airport to helping them with housing, furnishings, food, medical attention, education, jobs, and more. There is a lot of work involved, but when approached with the right mindset, it is a completely doable short-term process. The biggest obstacle to volunteer involvement is awareness. But creating awareness is only the first step. Once individuals or groups become aware of the need, then their own fears kick in. People are held back because refugee resettlement is a new idea to them. And new ideas are scary because we imagine everything that can go wrong. So getting involved in refugee resettlement is all about overcoming those fears. There are typically 3 big fears that people face. Nearly all the reasons and excuses that people have for not participating fall into one of those 3 fears. Now, I don't have time in this short video to go over those fears, but what if I can assure you that you can get past them? What if it were possible that you could not fail? What if I could provide you with a formula for success before you even got started? Now you see, there is a formula, and there are 5 success factors. These 5 points will help you overcome every obstacle you might encounter along the way. Here's that formula. Success factor number 1. Know why. Before you get started with refugee resettlement, you have to know why you want to be involved. Why is much more important than how. Now, I know this isn't your first thought. You most likely think, if you know how, then you'll be successful. But I assure you that knowing why is really the key. You must have personal reasons to help. Those reasons, what they are, don't really matter as long as they're meaningful to you. For example, you might want to be an advocate for world peace or fight to alleviate hunger and poverty. Perhaps you want to learn about a different culture without leaving the comfort of your own home. Maybe you want a good excuse to learn a new language. Maybe you like to teach people. Maybe you have an intense love for other people. Maybe you have experienced a spiritual calling. Maybe your reason is completely different altogether. But whatever it is, if you combine that with a vision of a positive outcome, it's going to carry you through the entire process and give you confidence, even if something doesn't go as smoothly as you'd like. Success factor number 2, plan ahead. If you add up the total hours it will take to achieve a successful resettlement, it's a lot. You cannot do it alone, or with just 1 or 2 helpers. You'll burn out. The key step in planning ahead is to find a team of at least 10 people. That way the burden is spread across everyone. No individual is worn out. With a good-sized group, the time and energy can be shared so that the process is not a burden on anyone. Success factor number 3, develop your team. Now that you have your team, it's time to start understanding how you're going to go about doing refugee resettlement. Each person should get an understanding of the overall goals and how those goals are accomplished. Then you can mold your team around the concepts, which leads us to success factor number 4, divide and conquer. Now that you have your team and you know what needs to be done, divide the responsibilities. Some of you will enjoy certain tasks more than others. Try to take advantage of your strengths and desires to work on the parts of resettlement that are most fun for you. You must have a chairperson who coordinates the communication and movement of others, and when life comes up for someone, the chairperson can help fill in or get one of the other team members to take over. At some point, your refugee family will arrive, and since you have all the groundwork in place with knowing why and planning ahead and developing your team and dividing responsibilities, you're really going to conquer every task that must be completed. And you're going to do a great job at it. And that leads us to success factor number 5, celebrate progress. I have already mentioned that refugee resettlement is a lot of work. You've made it to this point because you took the first 4 factors seriously. Now you got to celebrate. And don't wait until the end. Celebrations can be small acts, just thanking someone for helping. They can be grand acts, like celebrating milestones such as kids being in school or adults getting jobs, or even, woohoo, the telephone service has arrived. Someone on your team have a birthday? Invite your entire team and the refugee family for a party. Likewise, if someone in the refugee family has a birthday, they're probably going to invite you. Go! These celebrations help reinforce your original reasons for getting involved. So take the opportunity to enjoy the good times whenever they come up. For more details on resettlement success factors, along with complete descriptions of team tasks and responsibilities, and many other points to help with your success, go get the book 10 Million to 1, Refugee Resettlement, a How-To Guide. It's there to make it easy for you. Now before I end, I'd like to summarize the possibility you are facing now that you have awareness of refugee resettlement. You see, refugee resettlement gives us a chance to have an impact on the world, one family at a time. Now maybe it doesn't seem like helping one family will make all that big of a difference in a problem that touches millions, but it does make a tremendous difference for that one family. You are offering a life-saving gift. If you're Christian, you are showing the love of Christ as a missionary in your own town. And if you're not, you may discover some level of spirituality that may surprise you. Whether you live in a big city or a rural community, you might view your role as small, wondering what impact you could have on the world. But consider what can be accomplished when we join forces, we pitch in, we reach beyond ourselves. What a difference can we make then? You see, love does not recognize borders or distance. Prayer isn't stopped because it encounters an ocean. Grace isn't withheld because of a war somewhere. Peace is the responsibility of all of us. And that's what refugee resettlement is about. It takes a negative human event and turns it into a positive one. What difference can you make in the world? You can make all the difference. So go out there and get started.